What you're about to see is my Oscar host audition video. Now that the broadcast has taken place, I've received permission from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences and the producers of the Oscar telecast to share it with you. And you'll notice when it starts and you see a little date stamp that I recorded it just a week before the ceremony. Obviously, by that point, Seth MacFarlane had already been chosen as the host. I was not auditioning to be the host of the Oscars as such. I was auditioning to be the understudy host. In other words, if Seth MacFarlane had been unable to host the Oscars, or if something had happened, if some accident had befallen him during the show, the understudy's job is to step in and assume that responsibility and to take over hosting duties of the show. And that's what I was trying out for. That's what I flew out to Hollywood for, and wrote a couple of jokes that could have gone into my monologue, did a mock introduction of a presenter, and it was a lot of fun. I didn't get picked, obviously, for all of the criticism that Seth MacFarlane has gotten for his performance as the host. I thought he did a terrific job, and the next few minutes of video that you're going to watch, I believe, will testify to at least one thing, and that is that I certainly could not have done a better job than Seth MacFarlane did. And as for who actually got the understudy gig, I think they ultimately went with Stephen Fry. That would have been fun. Anyway, my Oscar host understudy audition tape. Thank you. Thank you. So nice for me to be here with you all tonight. I will be your host this evening as we honor some of the finest films from the past year and Les Miserables. Actually, I'm not that surprised that Les Mis is a multiple nominee tonight. After all, it was a groundbreaking film in many ways. For instance, it was the first musical to also feature acting. What are some of the other films we're going to be talking about tonight? Argo. Argo is a multiple nominee this evening. The story of a film production company that rescues hostages from Iran. I wonder why you like that one so much. Actually, I have to be honest with you. I did not enjoy Argo very much. I was sitting in the theater watching it, and just seeing Ben Affleck portray a CIA agent kept triggering flashbacks to The Sum of All Fears. Ben, I know you're a big shot director and producer now. You might hope that the rest of us have forgotten the other 9/10 of your career, but if only we could forget. I kid, of course. Actually, it is such an honor to be here, and very surreal for me to be on this stage and for me to be in this theater looking out at all of the history in this room. Just look around at all the history here. Look, Kirk Douglas is here. Christopher Plummer is here. And right here in the front row, the mummy of Helen Hunt. George Clooney is here, Oscar winner, nominee this year. Rocking the beard, I see, George. Does that mean that Stacy Keibler is out of a job? Liam Neeson is here. My God, that man is just a redwood trunk with feet, isn't he? It's a very, very large human being, very intimidating man. You would not want to piss Liam Neeson off. In fact, I like to think of Liam Neeson as the Brock Lesnar of Hollywood. And none of you know who that is. Actually, I got to meet Liam Neeson backstage a few minutes ago, and you know, he is such a disorienting combination of scary and sexy, especially up close. It's been a very long time since I've pissed myself with an erection. Actually, I think the last time that happened was when I met Ronda Rousey, and none of you know who that is either. Kristen Stewart is here, beautiful young actress. She had a big year last year. Not only did she star in the final film in the Twilight series, thank Christ, but she was also in On the Road, the long-anticipated adaptation of the classic American novel by Jack Kerouac. Say what you will about the film, say what you will about her performance. I personally found the sex scenes in On the Road to be the best acting that Kristen Stewart has ever done. I think it was probably because there was finally an explanation for her having her mouth hanging open like that all the time. There was other things I liked about On the Road. For instance, it was nice to finally be able to masturbate to Kristen Stewart without having Robert Pattinson standing 3 feet away making rape eyes at her. So it's hard to maintain a boner with that, like literally right there. Of course, we are here tonight to honor the past, but also to look ahead to the future. I think it's worth noting that many of our nominees here this evening are young. They are still just at the beginning of what are sure to become very long and distinguished careers. And of course, I am not talking about Gwyneth Wallace. I think we all understand that this is a one-shot deal for her. I'm sorry, sweetie, enjoy the party while it lasts, and then say hi to Mary Badham when it's over. So let's look ahead to the coming year in film. Lots of movies still to open this year. The Great Gatsby opens in a few months. That's going to be exciting. I personally can hardly wait to see how Baz Luhrmann fucking ruins one of the great novels of the 20th century. And we have a new Star Trek movie to come this year. Star Trek Into Darkness opening this summer. It will be the second and final Star Trek film directed by J.J. Abrams before J.J. then moves on to take over Star Wars. And then from there, presumably, moves on to take over Indiana Jones. And then what's left after that? Jurassic Park, right? Maybe J.J., maybe they'll let you do a Batman movie. What do you think? Maybe you can just take over every franchise. Maybe Michael Apted will let you direct 63 Up. Maybe it's worth giving him a call. What do you say? You greedy fuck! And finally, opening this summer, the hotly anticipated return to the big screen of Superman, Man of Steel. Yes, absolutely. Man of Steel, Superman has had a somewhat difficult recent past in the movies. His last film, Superman Returns, was very poorly received by pretty much everyone in the world except me. It was not a box office success. It was very disappointing to many people. But not to worry, now Superman is back. There's a new Superman, Henry Cavill. There's new producers, including Christopher Nolan of the Dark Knight trilogy, and new writers, and a whole new cast, and most importantly of all, a new director, Zack Snyder. And people are saying that Zack Snyder is going to come in and turn the Superman film series around. He is going to bring to the table lots of elements that have been missing from Superman films for many years. And judging by Zack's previous films, I'm guessing that some of those elements will be jailbait cock teases in short skirts and close-ups of compound fractures. And now here to present our first award of the evening in a semi-important category to get the ceremony off to a good start before we start grinding through the technical categories that nobody but the nominees gives a shit about. Here is last year's winner for Best Actress in a Supporting Role, making what I presume will be her final appearance ever on this stage, Octavia Spencer.